Hello, my name is Chris Brown. I'm the executive chef at the JW Marriott Orlando Grand Lakes. Grand Lakes is a combination of a JW Marriott hotel with 1,000 rooms and a Ritz-Carlton hotel with 600 rooms. We offer a luxury experience to those guests coming to the city of Orlando. A new venture that we have here at the hotel is Whisper Creek Farm, where you see right now. This is a new venture for us, and it started in October of 2012. We created the space in order to host unique farm-to-fork events in a farm setting, much different than what you normally see in a hotel in a ballroom setting. This is very authentic to the farm-to-fork experience. The next podcast that you will see features the very talented culinary team that we have at the JW Marriott and the Feast of the Fire. Enjoy.
Good morning and welcome to Signature Chef of Orlando. My name is Mariano Vegel, and I'm a supervisor of Primo Kitchen, the fine dining restaurant at the JW Orlando. We're here at Whisper Creek Farms doing some Argentinian barbecue, and I'm going to show you today some side dishes that go perfect with this Argentinian barbecue. I'm actually from Argentina. I came to the States 6 years ago, and for me this is very exciting. It's a great opportunity to show you guys here and at home how we cook, how we do things over there. I'm gonna start with some squash. I'm gonna cook this big gourd squash, Rescoldo style. Basically, the natives over there in south part of Argentina, in Patagonia, used to get any vegetables, any size, whatever you like, and make a hole, make some fire, wait until they had the embers and the warm ashes, and then put their vegetables and then cover it. What we're doing here is cover it with some aluminum foil. We're gonna put some oil first, and then I'm gonna put it down right on the open fire. The olive oil is going to help a little bit with the flavor, mostly so it doesn't stick to the aluminum foil. Basically what I'm going to do is make sure it's nice and covered, so keep it from burning. The skin is going to take some of that burn, but it's going to be good for the flavor. So I'm going to go back here, the open fire. Put it right there. For a squash that size, it's gonna take about an hour and a half. Don't worry, I have one that was going earlier, so I'm gonna be able to show you how to plate it. As the squash is cooking, I'm gonna go ahead and show you how to make Argentinian empanadas. So an empanada comes from the Spanish verb empanar, which is to coat something with bread. So basically what we have here is the empanada dough, which this one I made this morning. It's homemade. But you can buy it at your Latin store as turnover dough pastries or empanada dough. The one I'm gonna make today is a beef empanada. It's a typical empanada from where I'm from, Buenos Aires in Argentina. So I'm gonna talk about the dough a little bit more after and show you how to fold it and everything. But right now I'm gonna go into the stuffing. I'm gonna move to the grill to my left. So right here I'm gonna put the steak down first, just to get a little sear, a little flavor. And I'm gonna season it a little bit. Like I said, this is typical from Buenos Aires, where I'm from. This is what I learned. The ingredients I'm gonna be using today, I'm gonna have the steak, some onions, peppers, garlic, and different herbs and spices. And I'm gonna finish with some hard-boiled egg that I shredded. That's gonna give it a nice consistency. It's gonna bring it all together. In different regions in Argentina, you'll find that they make empanadas with raisins, with potatoes, and corn, ham and cheese. Over there where I'm from, there's a lot of takeout places that only sell empanadas, and you can find up to 30, 33 flavors of different empanadas. Like I said, when in Spain they started doing this, in Galicia it was called empanada gallega, which is like a meat pie. It's this big, and they would share family style. I guess through the years it's been reducing its size, so now it's pretty much a finger food that you can use as appetizers or as a main course. Right here with the asado is perfect for an appetizer. I'm gonna make them like a medium to small size, and we also pair it with pizza. A lot of people think that's a little strange, but any place in Argentina that sells pizza also sells empanadas, pretty much like wings and pizza here in the States. So when that beef is getting some color, I'm gonna put in there some red peppers, green peppers, and onions, and a little bit of garlic right after that. I don't want this to cook all the way. I don't want the meat to get tough, and also when we cook the empanadas after they're wrapped in this dough, they're gonna finish cooking inside. All the juices are gonna stay inside the empanada. I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of garlic. And I also don't care that the onion is not fully cooked because I want some crunch on that empanada. So it'll just cook for a few minutes, and I'm gonna add my spices right now. I'm gonna add a little bit of crushed red pepper, cumin, and Spanish paprika, which is a little spicy and smoky. It's gonna give it a nice flavor. Now we go with the cumin. I think the cumin is the spice that makes the empanada and gives it that particular flavor. So that's gonna cook a little bit. It's gonna blend all the flavors, and at the end I'm gonna add, when it's off the fire, I'm gonna add the egg and some scallions, green onions chopped. They're gonna cook with the heat that is in this stuffing. So right now, I'm gonna take it out, add a little more salt, add my egg, and again, this is a little bit for flavor, but mostly because it's gonna bind all the ingredients together. And I'm also gonna add, this is my personal touch, some olives to it. It's gonna give it a nice salty, briny flavor. And that's it. That's for the stuffing. It's pretty simple, and like I say, you can see you can replace any ingredient for something else as long as you have something. Some protein there. You can even make cheese and vegetarian, like cheese and onions is very popular. It is important for the stuffing to get really cold before you start building your empanadas, because not your dough is gonna fall apart, it's gonna melt. This dough it's very easy. It's made basically of flour, butter, salt, pepper, a little bit of water, and then some kind of fat. We use pork fat for this. You can use lard or duck fat, something like that. So I'm gonna build a few. And over there, I said before, we have over 30 different flavors of empanadas. So the way to tell them apart is the pattern we do in the empanada, the way we fold it, the way we close it. So just a little bit inside. It doesn't look like a lot, but if you put a lot, it won't fold, it won't close. I'm gonna use a little bit of water on the edges to make sure they stick. Move this. And then basically fold it, pinch a little bit. So right now we can say we have an empanada. Yeah, this is a basic fold. And like I said, there's different ways to fold it. The way we do it with the beef empanadas and the way you see Argentinian empanadas is just, we call it repulgue, which is the pattern we're gonna build right now. It's a pinch, stretch, and then fold over in an angle like that. This is harder than it seems, but when you grow up watching your grandma doing this, you get it after a few tries. So that's basically what you would see as an Argentinian empanada. Another way to fold it might be a little bit easier. It's like if you're folding stuffed pasta. So again, fold it over, pinch, make sure it's sealed. You don't want to lose any stuffing on the oil or in the oven, and then fold it over as you would a tortellini, Italian pasta, right there. In Argentina, this would be a beef empanada, and probably this would be a ham and cheese or onion and cheese. So I have some oil going over there. We're gonna do the empanadas fried. You can also find baked. You know, it's a little bit healthier. I personally like the fried better because you get more flavor from the oil, depending on the oil you use, and you get more crunch, more flakiness in the dough. Over there they do it with melted lard or some pork fat, and they're frying that, but we're gonna do a slightly lighter version today. So I'm gonna go over my pot over there with oil.
360, 340.
Okay. and just dip them in there. Like I said, you would have the possibility to do it in an oven, 400 degrees. Make sure you have some oil in your pan so the dough doesn't stick, and they will cook in about 15 to 20 minutes. Fries much faster. You have oil covering the whole pastry. And I just move it around, making sure that it's gonna cook evenly on every side. These are perfect, like I said, for a get together, for a party, for a appetizer in a dinner. And we pair this with wine, red wine. Obviously, there's not a lot of things that in Argentina we don't pair with red wine. So this is gonna be much faster in the oven, about 3-4 minutes. You're looking for a pale brown color. And since your stuffing is, I would say, 75% cooked, you don't have to worry about getting to cook it in the oil inside the empanada. So by the way the dough is made with all the butter that it has and the fat, it's not gonna absorb more fat, so we're not gonna get something really, really oily. It's gonna be nice, flaky, and dry. That we it right there. So there you are. You can see that there's no oil retained on top of the empanada. It didn't absorb anything. It cooked, got crispy, and now it's nice and dry. I'm gonna cut one in half, just to show how juicy is inside, because the steak wasn't cooked all the way, and the onions and peppers keep releasing some of the juices. So that was the empanada. The squash is still cooking back there, as you can see, sizzling. And next I'm gonna show you how to make chimichurri. So chimichurri is basically something in between a vinaigrette sauce, almost a brine too, and it's also, you have a lot of different versions, different recipes throughout South America. The one I'm gonna make today is also the one I learned at home. So I'm gonna take some parsley, fresh oregano that I just picked from the farm, like that. Pick it. Have some oregano. And this sauce, this chimichurri sauce, it pretty much goes with everything. Traditionally, you put it on top of the meat that you're barbecuing, but it can also serve as a dipping sauce for empanadas. It serves great with the Argentinian chorizo, and you can even dress a salad with this. So once you have the parsley and oregano, those are the two herbs I like to use. You can add some rosemary or some sage, give it a little depth, give different flavors. You chop it roughly. It doesn't need to be perfect. Just like that. And it's gonna go into a bowl, and we're gonna start prepping this chimichurri. I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna add some garlic, chopped garlic. And right after the garlic, I'm gonna go with some red wine vinegar. Right there. And some lemon juice. So in the bowl, what this is gonna do is gonna help the garlic release all those oils, all that flavor, and also the herbs. And it's gonna play a great part when you put it on top of meat, hot meat. All this acid, all this garlic is gonna come up. So One of the ingredients we have here is some salmuera, which is salted water. Basically what you do is put a couple of cups of water, a couple of tablespoons of salt, bring it to a bowl. When the salt is dissolved, it's done. It's salmuera. So what this is doing is it's pretty hard to season a vinegar because salt won't dissolve in your oil or vinegar. So by bringing it out to a bowl in water, you're gonna have the perfect seasoning, the seasoning you were looking for. Just to top it off, finish a little bit of crushed red pepper. And I'm gonna add some blended oil. I don't use olive oil, just any oil would do. And whisk it a little bit. It's not gonna come together perfect, it's not gonna emulsify that great because it has vinegar, water, and oil, but it's not the point. Yes, you see I have one finished right here. It's a little separated. All you gotta do is give it a nice shake before you serve it. So this chimichurri is best when it has rested a couple of days. I said 2 days, perfect in the fridge. You take it out a couple hours before serving it to bring it to a room temperature. And I mean, you can use it right now, the one I just made, but it's much better when all the flavors combine and are ready to go. You can save this for about 5 days to a week. The one with fresh herbs. There's another version when you do it with drier herbs. So you're not gonna have that fresh herb flavor. It's still very, very good, and it's gonna last longer. It's gonna last about 2 weeks to 3 weeks in the fridge because they're dehydrated, the herbs, so you don't have that extra water, and it's not gonna turn black. They're gonna not turn black. So that is the famous and traditional chimichurri from Argentina. Like I said, it goes everywhere in an asado, as a sauce, as a brine, or as a vinaigrette. I'm gonna go back to the squash now. That one's still roasting over there. So about after an hour, you can poke it with a knife or a needle, and when it goes through and it's nice and tender, it's gonna look like this one. So as you see, got a little char outside, but it's nice and tender. So what I'm gonna do next, I'm gonna cut the tip right here so you can see how juicy that is. All the juices stayed inside. Cut it longways. And I'm gonna clean all the seeds and all this hair out. It is very hot. Right there. So the great thing about this is that we didn't add anything. It's just, we cover it and it cooks it in its own juices, its own steam. So after you get rid of all the seeds, they're probably soft too, but you really don't want to eat that part. After this, there's different ways to serve it. You could make a salad in here, scraping a little bit of the meat and serve it like this as a dish. What we're gonna do today, since we're gonna do family style, I'm gonna cut it up. Little wedges. Like this. Dress it with a little bit of olive oil. And some sea salt. Just like that. And this is ready to eat. Really, you could go ahead and eat it like that. I'm gonna add some cracked black pepper. We're gonna step it up notch. Right now, I'm gonna make a little salad with the mizuna that we picked from the garden today. Some of that mizuna. I'm gonna add a little bit of goat cheese, local goat cheese here from Orlando. See, I have it right here. So I'm gonna go some room here. Go ahead and season a little bit with the same sea salt right there. Some of that goat cheese. It's gonna go in there. So since we have this gold squash, which is a little bit sweet, this goat cheese is acidic and it's gonna cut right through it. Mix it up like that. And a little bit more this olive oil to dress it. So right now I'm gonna bring a plate to start setting this up right here. And this can go as a salad that goes with the meat, with the asado, or it can also be as an appetizer. It's not only about the food, what we do over there. The way we do is also about the show, the experience, the tradition. You know, the group of friends getting together. So it's pretty much food flowing for 4 or 5 hours when there's an asado in Argentina. So I'm just gonna finish it up. Some of this Mizuna right there. And I'm gonna add the goat cheese right on top. Try to get some of it on top of the squash so it'll melt a little bit with it right there. And the last thing would be some balsamic vinegar right there. So we've seen the traditional empanada, the chimichurri, and now this Rescoldo squash salad. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.